hope your day is full of pretzels and hot dogs and the subway and taxis. It's a New York intro, guys. The Empire State Building, you gotta have that. The Statue of Liberty, motherfucker. That's right. NYC, baby, it's the place to be. We have an amazing episode of SHENK for you this week with the one, the only Nina Tarr. But before we get into this week's episode of SHENK with comedian Nina Tarr, there's just a few things I want to tell you about. One, I am going to be at the Vulcan Gas Co. tomorrow. That is right. I will be at the Vulcan Gas Co. on Thursday, August 29th. Come out, support live comedy. If you're in Austin, I'm headlining. It's going to be a really fun, awesome show. We got Liz Splat doing a set on that. So get tickets. Really fun time. Come out. And then you can find me here every Wednesday on SHENK and every Monday on this bitch. Before we get into this week's episode of SHENK with Nina Tarr, I just want to tell you about something that excites me, and that's Oh Yeah Socks. Oh yeah. If you're like me, you love putting on socks in the morning. You wake up and you say, coffee's nice, brushing my teeth is nice, but I just can't wait to get my socks on. And when I put on my socks, I reach for my Oh Yeah socks. You can go to ohyeah.com. That's 3 O's HYEAH.com. You can shop all unique sock designs, whether you're into psychedelic mushrooms or Dolly Parton. There's a pair of socks for you, and you get 10% off with discount code Sarah10. And as always, for bonus content, I'm on patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk. And let's do it. Let's get into this week's episode of SHENK with the one, the only comedian Nina Tarr. Here it is. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of SHENK. I'm Sara Weinshenk, and today's guest is the one, the only Nina Tarr. I'm excited to have you on because I see you online and you're very funny.
Wow.
And then I'm like, you do stand up, but you're also a DJ.
A lot.
I'm like,
yeah.
I really need to know what's going on with this woman.
Honestly, this is investigative journalism that needs to happen
Yes.
because I think for years people just go DJ, comedian, actress, charlatan.
Yeah,
That was very much more like, what do you just have cocaine on you all the time?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, not quite. Yeah, I understand. It's a lot of things that don't
It's a lot
necessarily
of
converge.
hyphens.
Yeah.
But it
That are
works,
douchey.
But it works for you. Because if someone was like, hey, meet this dude. He's a DJ, a comedian, and an actor.
Like, how many people has he sexually assaulted?
I would be like, I'm
so
leaving.
many. Yeah. So many.
Yeah.
Ready for a man to talk over you for an hour?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so which one came first?
DJing came first. Oh, I started when I was 17. Like I started collecting.
so young.
Yeah, I started collecting records really young, and I was like a punk. And I would DJ in between punk shows, like vinyl, like literally weird, like obscuro punk shows in Long Beach, and would DJ records in between that. And then I started coming to like LA when I was like, I'd say like 18, 19. And then I would get gigs where they're like, we want you to DJ the Standard Rooftop.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, okay, I'll play my more mainstream stuff. Devo and Talking Heads. They're like, okay, we're going to need you to play a little bit more mainstream. I'm like, Blondie? And it was really, yeah. And then so I think my taste went from like micro to macro. Then I was like, oh, Al Green exists. And like, all,
Right.
And Donna Summer. But I think I was like, Butthole Surfers, Black Flag, Minutemen, Velvet Underground. So I zoomed out quite a bit. But yeah, I got into that when I was quite young. And then I was able to monetize it, which was like very lucky for me.
That's awesome.
I'm really hyped about that. And then I started doing stand-up. I mean, I started doing comedy when I was like 21, like UCB bullshit. And then like
Did you
acting.
like UCB?
I think it was a great tool to learn as like an actor and a performer.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a format that I want to like explore. Like it's like I wouldn't want to do an improv show, if that makes sense. But I think it's a great tool to have in your arsenal as a performer.
Yes, I did Groundlings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got over it.
Yeah, I think
the space work was too much for me.
I think it's really kind of cringe to see guys that are like 35 years old with college degrees wearing flannel being like, I'm a dinosaur. I'm like, your parents are so disappointed.
No, I know. And I remember going and there was like this 65-year-old man and he was taking level 1 again. I was like, how many times have you taken it? He's like, this is my 4th time. I'm trying to get on SNL. And I'm like, the dream is over.
It's kind of crazy when people are that far away from reality. Where it's like, you might as well say, I am Gandhi. Like, I'm like, that is the same relevance as what you're saying right now, holds the same capacity of happening.
But I'm also amazed by it. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, am I that person? You know,
No.
where you're not aware, and
There's
you're like,
verifiable.
in your head, like you think that you're just gonna go to the moon, and then I don't know.
I understand what you're saying, but there's verifiable data backing that. And
Yeah.
then you're a normal human being that has doubts about themselves
Right.
as a performer, as like a woman in the field.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's people that when you're so confident in yourself, I'm like, you're fucking mentally ill. There's something I realized that I was dating somebody for a while and I realized there was something that I'm like, you know what I really don't like? He believes in himself so much. And I thought, well, like, wow, what an amazing quality.
Yeah.
You know, always believing in yourself. I'm like, you should I'd say there should be multiple points in your life where you go, should I fucking kill myself? And if you don't have that, if you don't have, should I fucking kill myself?
Every once in a while,
just to spice up the brain chemistry.
Yeah.
If you don't have that you're just boring as hell.
Boring.
And also just like, I believe in myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So my parents are both supportive and they're still together. And I go, you suck, dude. So when he says sock you in the face, I don't know. It's just, there needs to be some humbleness, you know?
No, I know. But then there's people who they start out with an ego and then eventually like life just follows. Have you seen that happen before where they start out being like, I'm amazing?
That's what I call the Forrest Gump effect. But I'm like, they're so dumb that they accidentally stumble into greatness all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's an example of that? Because I don't know if I feel like all of that is like, maybe there's somebody who's dumb, but they're savant when it comes to their art form.
I can give you an example when we're not on camera.
Wow.
I can't give you the example that I want to say so badly would not be good to say.
It's too inside baseball. I get it.
Yeah,
okay. That's fine. That's fine.
But when the cameras are off, I will tell you. Someone who blindly believed in themselves and it paid off.
I mean, yeah, you're like, and that woman's name was Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Exactly.
She is with us today. Come on out, Hill. Yeah, but no, I started doing stand-up like after I got into stand-up kind of through the way of, UCB, because I think it was like in 201, and then these guys were like, hey, we're doing some monks. You want to come? We're pretty funny. I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I did, and I didn't realize, I don't know if this was your journey, but I feel like a lot of people maybe can relate to this that are in comedy, where you're like, I didn't even realize I was writing jokes. Like I thought I had a journal, but they were just like premises for jokes.
Yeah.
And I go, I have material. I have like observational jokes, all these things. So I did my first open mic, I think when I was like 22. And then, I feel like I took like a hiatus for like a small point because I was like, this fucking sucks. This was a while ago, like before Me Too. And I think that really shifted a lot of stuff. Like,
right.
You just couldn't it was truly just a male space. And the other comics were like not your peers. They're like, why is this fucking hen clucking? Dude?
Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't want to take away your stage time of doing rape material while you're drunk on Bud Light.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, I should hold the space for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have another joke about wiping cum off your stomach? Yeah, you're right. You know what? Take the stage, sir. We got to hear another hot take.
Exactly.
So yeah, I started then, and then I kind of took a break for like, I'd say like 9 months. And then I really like hit the pavement. But yeah, now I've just been doing both for a long time. And I think that's why, to your point, time is the indicator of like non-phoniness. I think so. Because when I was younger, I'd be like, nobody believes I'm a DJ and a comedian. And then it's just, you do for so long, people go, oh, well, like clearly she does both. And there's
an example.
There's a lot of like good evidence of it, and also doing well at both. Because that's the thing. I am good at both, but I can't do math. Like
I can't do math at all.
I count on my fingers. If somebody goes, what's 15 plus 9? I go, why would you literally embarrass me? Like why? I'm ashamed. I don't know.
Well, did you like growing up in OC? No.
No, dude.
I went to college at Chapman.
Oh my gosh, that's where I was born, at the hospital. I was born at Chapman Hospital.
You were?
Yes.
That's so crazy.
My mother worked at the hospital.
She did?
Born there. Yeah.
She did?
Yeah.
Orange County is so specific.
Yeah, it sucks, dude.
Well, when I went to Chapman, it was like all blonde bitches.
Oh, everybody.
Like,
I was considered like, I'm Persian and I'm clearly white.
Yeah.
I'm a white woman. I'm just Iranian. I'm Middle Eastern. And people go, well, like, as a woman of color. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I was considered like a weirdo minority. And I'm like, what?
Because when I went to college there, my hair was darker. And I remember being like, I feel ethnic.
I wish these people were casting directors.
Yeah,
I'm
diverse.
super diverse.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, it was growing up there was tough because I had like a weird little foreign mom, and always I was like the kid with the Tupperware. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with like the stinky Tupperware kid.
Yeah.
And like the Payless shoes, and then they're like, "Why are you?" Like, what is that? I'm like, skorma sabzi. They're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, it's kidney beans. I'm as a child eating spinach, stewed spinach, and beef and kidney beans. And don't mind me, my breath smells great.
They just have white bread sandwiches.
Having that like lack of like assimilation in a weird way like makes you stronger character and funny. That's the thing.
So much funnier.
It makes you a lot funnier. So and it was like, I don't know. It's beautiful there. I think my biggest gripe with it is that the misconception that people have of it, where they assume, they go, you grew up in Orange County, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, super rich. And then I go, why don't people think that of people that grew up in LA? Because LA, I would argue, it's like, yeah, there is a diversity of wealth in both Orange County and Los Angeles. There's Beverly Hills in LA, but then, there's also Encino. I don't know. Encino's pretty fucking nice. Never mind. But there's like Hawaiian Gardens. How about that? Okay.
There's like Panorama City.
Yeah.
I know that's
City
bad.
of Industry.
The city, places like that. The ocean took my phone yesterday, and I need to just get this off.
Wait, what happened?
The ocean stole my phone.
Okay, let's back up.
The gods are pissed at me. I do not know what's happening. Okay, so my friend was like, "Do you want to come have lunch with me?" It was a fancy lunch too. I was like, sure, I'll have a fancy lunch before you move. We were at the Soho House in Malibu having lunch.
Ooh, la, la,
wasting money we don't have.
Sounds great.
Living large. And then we went on a walk on the beach, and I put my phone in my pocket. And it was a slanted pocket. It was a slanted fucking pocket. Marine layer, it's your fault. That's who made the damn skirt.
Why even have a slanted pocket? Don't give me this illusion, this false sense of security. They go, oh, what have you put in here? It's gone.
It was not a deep pocket.
And it was a slanted and not deep pocket?
I don't know. I might be exaggerating how slanted and shallow
I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
You know what I mean?
This is wrong.
Now I feel like maybe I might be lying for the story. But either way, it fell out of my skirt.
It's your truth.
That's my truth. And it fell out. A big wave came, knocked me to the ground. And next thing I knew, my phone was just gone.
That truly is, it got stolen from Poseidon himself.
Right?
No, he wanted the nudes.
He wanted the nudes.
Poseidon rolled up. He goes, I'm going to knock this bitch over. I know she's wearing those fucking slanted ass, shallow ass pockets. And Poseidon goes, psych. And he literally shoved you. You got shoved by the god of the ocean. I'm sorry. What happened? Was it backed up? What's going on? You have a phone now.
I have a new phone, but yesterday was spent. When you lose the phone completely.
Oh my God. You're like, what am I, Amish?
The people at the Apple store were like, so if you by chance happen to find the phone in the next 2 weeks, I go, it's in the sea. The ocean, the sea. The sea took the phone. It's not resurfacing. He's like, well, have you tried Find My iPhone? I'm like, dude, I show up covered in sand. I look shipwrecked to the Apple store. They said, if you would have had the phone, you would have only had to pay $90 because you had Apple Care. But guess what? You don't have the phone. So I dropped a considerable amount of money on this phone.
So you saunter into the Apple store quite like Jack Sparrow himself.
Yes.
Okay.
I saunter in like Steve Jobs, dropping hundreds of dollars.
Tim Cook over here spends $3,000 on a new phone.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And I'm still looking at it. Like, you can find my iPhone and you can just see it's the ocean.
That's kind of fun.
It is fun.
It's kind of good to know that a little piece of you is out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A little piece of
you is in Malibu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's poetic. That's poetic.
Is.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's the best case scenario because then you could go on a fool's errand. Like if it got stolen, then you're like, I'm going to find it, which is psychotic. So now you just go, it belongs to the sea.
I know. And then I keep telling myself, I'm like, it's fine. Just let it go. You're letting it go. Everyone in your life is healthy. Okay, that's great. You start going through.
It was your Hope Diamond.
Crazy.
Sarah, it's your Hope Diamond. You threw it to the ocean.
Made a wish.
Oh, there you go.
Where is your favorite place to DJ?
Wow, I'm so glad you asked. Wow. There's a lot of places. I mean, it kind of depends. I mean, I live in New York, as you know, so it's kind of, I mean, it's going to be specific to that place. But I guess
what city?
What city? Okay, well, in New York, I love DJing in New York because it's a lot. I mean, I love LA. I don't want to besmirch the town that I lived in my whole life, but it's like, I love it. I love LA. But I think that there's people here that like, they want to remain in stasis in their comfortability. And I think that like anything challenging to them, like, and you can look at it, it reflects itself in its weather, you know, like people don't want to be challenged. They want to kind of, so I think when I DJ in LA and what I noticed from DJing in LA for like a decade is that people would be like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a DJ. Like, I'm going to play stuff that's like really, like, I'll shoehorn in there some fucking, you know, some hits and everything to get you going. But I feel like there's like a part of a musical education, like, thing with a DJ that goes, I'm going to show you some stuff, especially a vinyl DJ. You know what I mean? Especially a vinyl DJ. But I think that there is like a fear of the unknown musically because people don't like, when they're in a space and they know the music, they know what's going on, and they go, I feel cool and comfortable because I know what's going on.
Right.
I feel like in New York, I can just play. I mean, it is so fun. It gave me truly like a second wind as a DJ because I got super disenchanted with it right before the pandemic, and I was doing it so much. I don't even DJ as much anymore. That's a big reason I moved to New York because I do a lot more stand up there. But you know, here I was like a workhorse. I was DJing a bunch. I just felt like I was like on a hamster wheel. And I was like, this kind of sucks, dude.
Yeah.
And I think it was just because I felt really restricted, just like genre wise. And like, I know the assignment when I have to like DJ some like fancy event and everything, I got to play the hits. I got to do this and all this stuff. But when it's like a bar gig or a club and somebody's like, excuse me, it's my friend's birthday.
Does that happen all the time?
Oh, sometimes. It doesn't happen as much in New York.
I believe that.
Because people actually are tactful, and if they ask you for something, they'll pay you. They'll give you money because they know it's such a finance town. That they'll just be like, hey, can you play this? Here you go. Can you play Madonna? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they hand you like a 50 and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I can play Madonna.
Let's go. I love her.
Yes.
So yeah, I think DJing in New York is just a lot. It just allows me so much more space. Like it's almost maybe you could relate in comedy, like certain towns you go, I feel like this town really gets me my comedy, or I feel safer to explore on stage here. And certain like venues or cities you go, I got to really stick to my A+ material because I don't think they would go with me on a journey that's not that. So sometimes when I DJ at places in LA, I feel like I got to stick to the A+ stuff, the recognizable stuff. And in New York, I go, hey, we're both discovering this together. And that's so much more gratifying and fun, not only as the arbiter of the music, but also the people there, you know?
Well, have you DJed in any other countries?
Mm-hmm.
That seems fun.
Yes.
Where?
I mean, honestly, and they're even cooler. That's the thing. It's like Paris, like they're way cooler. Yeah. They even are like, oh, this is something, I already know this. My father worked with this producer. And you're like, damn, I thought I was being obscure.
I already know this.
Jean-Marco? Okay, sorry about that.
So Paris was cool.
Paris was cool. I did a lot of comedy in London. I didn't DJ in London.
Oh, really?
So I mean, Sarah, honestly, I've been DJing for so long, and to me, it's money. Like I have two rules for a gig for DJing. Fun as hell, or pays me a shit ton of money. And if it doesn't fall into any of those, I'm not doing it.
I like that.
So yeah, it's just not. And because a comedy and acting is so much more of my like that's how I create it. It's more creatively fulfilling to me because as a DJ, at the end of the day, I'm playing other people's music.
Right.
You know, and I'm not a musician and I'm not a producer. So I'm not reworking these tracks too much. I mean, when I'm mixing them for sure.
Can you sing?
No. Okay. I mean, I love karaoke.
Okay.
I mean, I can sing. No, I don't have like a nice singing voice,
but it's like passable.
I
can tell by the way that you are. It's kind of like you have a passable singing voice.
I don't know. I think I'm a good. I am a good impressionist. I do a lot of voices, and I think that makes me de facto okay at singing, only because I can do an impression of a good singer.
Yeah, that's sick.
But you see my register very low, deep voice.
Yeah.
So I feel like anytime I sing, it has to be. I'm like female Lou Reed. I'm like going Betty Davis eyes only. Okay, I can't do these high stuff. I go.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And that, it just sounds like Tony Soprano trying to be like,
Reed.
oh, so vain. You probably think the song is about you.
if you had to listen to one song for the first time again, what song would it be?
What a good question.
Thank you.
I know exactly already
What
because
song?
it was a song that truly changed my relationship to the way I listened to music when I was 14 years old. And like, I was like very deep in like a punk like state, which I loved. But then I truly just like got out. I was like, wow, there's Joni Mitchell and there's like New Order and there's Otis Redding and there's all of it really expanded just my profile of music. And it was the song Heroin by the Velvet Underground on their first album.
Do I know Heroin?
It's I think like the fifth track, and the CD, I had like a Walkman. And literally the CD, if you played it, like if you played a song too much, it would literally like burn into it. So my CD literally had a ring around it because I played the song
Heroin over and over
as a
again.
14-year-old. And this is actually really funny. I remember my cousin, I don't have like any family like in this country. They all live in like West Europe. But I do have this like random cousin that she grew up super duper religious, but we were like the same age and we were both 14. I think she was maybe a year older than me. And we were at my grandma's and she's like, oh my God, I want to show you a song. I'm like, oh my God, I want to show you a song. And so we both took our respective Walkman headphones and put it on each other's like ears. And she played for me like an Alanis Morissette song and like Jagged Little Pill, which was like naughty for that little Christian girl. But I was like, oh, listen to this. And it was Heroin by the Velvet Underground to she's literally a missionary.
No.
Yes, she is a Christian missionary. And I go, listen to this. Hey, Jenna.
Listen to this, sister.
Listen to this. And then she took, like, it was almost like a mother listening to a child talk about Pokemon. I mean, like, that was really interesting. And I was like, for sure. And at the time, I mean, honestly, it only occurred to me like years later, just in hindsight. I was like, wow, that was pretty fucked up that I did that. I made her do that. That was crazy.
Like, that was really interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll take it I'll clock that as a compliment.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I think that the Heroin, because it's just nostalgic value for me.
I need to listen to Heroin.
Oh, you're gonna listen to it and be like, Nina's literally out of her mind. Is she schizophrenic? It's literally like, it's like discordant, janky piano and like John Cale's like
excited.
Taking like a violin bow and like shoving it in a drum and everything. And I'm like, yeah.
That's what you're into.
I just like some experimental, weirdo, bizarro
that
stuff. But I also like, Prince. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also like the soft, beautiful, cool stuff.
What are your like top 10
artists?
Yeah. This is hard for you, huh?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just rattle off a few, and then I'm gonna probably forget a few.
Okay.
Giorgio Moroder. It's like the godfather of disco. He literally like created Donna Summer. Okay. Incredible.
Okay.
Huge fan. Minutemen, which is a punk band from San Pedro in the 80s.
Okay.
Very nostalgic for me. Black Flag, very nostalgic for me. Velvet Underground probably is my number one, though.
Okay.
Sparks, which is an LA band of two brothers that they started making music in the late 60s, and they still make music to this day. And there's an incredible documentary about them called Sparks, directed by Edgar Wright. That's very, just as an artist, you should watch it because it's just the longevity of a craft. And if you really care about something, it doesn't really matter the external reward system with it because you have an intrinsic reward and value. Yeah. And I love their music. Okay, what else? Oh, I love Outkast. I think, Andre 3000 is like one of the most amazing performers. Was that 10? I feel like I have more. I don't fucking know.
That's good.
That's good enough.
Yeah, that was good.
That's good enough, right?
That'll do, pig.
Thank you. Oh my God.
I quote Babe all the time.
I literally, when I meet the right man, when he says that'll do, pig, as I wipe some love juice off my mouth, I'll know I've met the one.
You'll know you met the one. Are you dating?
Yeah.
You on the apps?
No.
Oh, you're in a relationship?
No.
No, you're out dating.
Yeah. I was in a relationship for a long time, and then I broke up with him like a few months ago. And so I'm single now for the first time in like 3 years. And so
that can be fun.
It's very fun. And it's just nice to have like agency over your own time and energy.
Yeah.
And I lived with my partner, so it was like that was kind of, it's like there's a lot of collaboration that goes in that, which was great and lovely, but yeah, I'm dating. I don't do the dating apps. I did years ago for I was on Raya.
Yeah.
That's how I met my boyfriend, shockingly.
On Raya.
I was this close to canceling.
Tell me about this.
I mean, we matched, and when we matched, I thought it was a catfish because he was very handsome. I was like, this
Sarah,
is
you're
not
literally
a
a stunner.
Thank you. But we basically matched on Raya, and then we went on a date, and that was it. We've been
Oh my
dating since
God.
November, but it's
That's a lot.
I know
That's a year.
That's almost a year, especially from Raya. Because what was your experience on that app?
Actually pretty good. I did
It was
realize
good?
Yes, it was. I was in a relationship so years ago. I was with somebody for like almost 4 years. And then so when I got out of that one, I feel like it's like creating an effigy of your singledom. Like that's why Raya is good because it's like it almost just like fuels you, or any dating app rather. You're like, okay, I can also use this like energy in the field. You know what I mean? Like I can like harness the power of guys being like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was really fun to be on it. One of the first guys I did meet on it was super duper handsome. And I ended up kind of on and off dating him for like a year, but he lived in New York and I lived in LA at the time. So that was super fruitful, and I had like a lot of fun. Honestly, I met like some cool guys on it.
Really?
I had a great
I met
time.
some nightmares on it.
I did. Okay, the biggest nightmares for me. Actually, I did. Yeah, I met some nightmares. I'm like, the worst thing would happen is like I would just like hemorrhage time talking to somebody, and they'd be funny and charming, and then I'd see them in person. This is why I don't do dating apps.
Yeah.
This immediately you're like, nope. Not good, never.
Yeah.
Because it's an energy thing or whatever. It's like the way that they look in person and like their sound of their voice and the way they move. And there's all of these little idiosyncratic things that you cannot capture on a two-dimensional digital format. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know. So I felt like I would waste some time. But I did have sex on it. And I did. This is a big story.
Okay, let's hear it.
I matched with fucking Fred Durst.
You did?
Yeah. And he DM'd me and he goes, hey, Nina.
No.
May I take your order?
No. That's what he said?
Yeah.
Did you write back?
And then I said, finally, some service around here.
No.
I did. I swear to God. And then he said something that was like, he then was like trying to be funny and it really didn't land. And so I didn't know how to respond. So I left him on red for 2 days and then he unmatched me.
No.
And Fred, I just wanted to let you know that I have a Durst to quench. Because I do feel like I fumbled that a little bit. But it was fun to know also he's in the news today.
You feel like you fumbled that a little bit?
I don't know. I
the
didn't
one that got away.
I did think about that. Because I was like, okay, you're going to keep rolling. It's like,
it's amazing.
Whatever. But another one who's in the news today, but
Ooh.
fucking Matthew Perry.
Oh, yeah.
And I would chat with him all the time and we would call.
You would?
Yeah, I never met up with him because I have dignity, unfortunately. That's the thing. Is like
I
I haven't
meet up with Matthew Perry.
He did invite me over one time and he goes, oh, I hope you don't mind. My nurse is here. And I go, I don't think I want to do that. I was like, I can't do this. Like,
nurse? I'm out.
I just couldn't.
Leave the nurse out of this.
I just couldn't. What am I going to do? Like, look at him. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not going to go to Matthew Perry.
I just can't. I have like a crazy thing where I can only sleep with people that I am attracted to. I know that sounds really wild, you know, but I've only slept with people I like and I'm attracted to.
Imagine just you go to Matthew Perry's house, then you're just in Matthew Perry's house.
I know.
I feel like it had bad
Steal a roll of toilet paper just to have
Matthew Perry's TP.
Yeah.
My nurse is here?
Yeah.
I don't get over that.
I just was
that
like.
Really, the visual of you needing an aid, it makes you feel.
I'm like, what?
Anxious?
Do you have a colostomy bag that needs to be like rewired? I don't want to do this.
What's happening?
I just did. I do realize the big difference between Matthew Perry though and Fred Durst is that both of them, like if I were to sleep with Matthew Perry, he would like be like spit on me, and then if I were to sleep with Fred Durst, he'd be like fucking. He would spit on me.
Yeah.
That was like kind of the difference.
Yeah,
but it's kind of fun to see like what like non-relevant 90s celebrity wants to fuck you. That's why Raya is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, and I won't name drop.
It is really fun.
Chris Kattan. But it's.
I went on a date with one actor, Nathan Fillion. Do you know who that is? Nobody knows. Yeah, you do? I went on a date with him.
Wow.
It was that.
I want to date with some like cool, hot like writers or musicians.
Yes, this guy.
Oh, he's older.
He's older. Yeah.
He's handsome.
He showed up and he had this crazy car, and he was like,
What kind of car?
he text messaged me and said, "What do you think about 3-wheel wonder vehicles?
Oh no. those are
Electric
ba-
wonder vehicles."
You say, do you have a penis?
And then he showed up on that, and we went for a ride in it, and that was the last I ever
Good.
saw it.
That is the Crocs of cars. That is so bad. That's bad.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's bad. It was a fun time I think I was on Raya for like a year and a half or 2 years. And then I just was like, meh. And then I ended up started like to date somebody. And then I don't want to do it. Here's the thing with dating apps. I have so much I want to do like creatively that if I were to spend time
No, it's bad.
talking to strangers on a dating app instead of like, I don't know, like
Writing a
re-editing
joke?
my like editing my reel, doing this, like literally just the laundry list of things that I have to do, I would feel like such a stupid piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I live in New York. I'm in LA all the time. There's
And
you meet
you're a
people.
DJ. DJs meet people, Nina.
I meet and comedians do too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but it's obviously, you know, the disparages that like so many guys we know that go on stage, women are like, he's so funny, you want to fuck him. And I've never seen a guy become more attracted to me while I'm on stage.
No.
It's the opposite where like a guy's like, she's hot. And then
I
I'm
get
a
on stage.
maniac on stage. And then he's like, oh, you're super cool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
great. That's so nice.
Yeah. I do feel like it is this weird thing because it's so like masculine. I'm gonna get power from this room and be on stage, and it's so fun, but also, yeah, I feel like it could be a turnoff.
I think that I don't know.
The right guy.
The right guy. See, the thing is, I'm actually realize I'm so much more attracted to the older I've gotten, the more that like I've had dating experience, whether it be like long format or whatever, long-term relationships or just like flings or casual encounters, is like I really don't want to be with a man who is threatened by like a woman's power
or a woman being big.
Yeah, is like that's a weak man.
Like
I don't want to be with a weak man.
Yeah, no.
I want to be with a man who's like, I love a powerful woman because she makes me more strong and more masculine and more like I then have to you like rise to the occasion and there's like a nice reciprocity, you know? But I also like I am feminine, but it's like almost a vulnerable side of me that people can like that a man can get to. That is like a privilege to see my like daintiness.
Soft.
Yes, I am very dainty and sweet and can be very delicate, but it is something that's like that's like an earned treat.
Yeah, I'm like that too. That makes sense.
But I feel like you are just like you're pretty feminine.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think anybody would ever say that about me. I think you present as that, and people go, did you grow up with brothers? Did you play field hockey? And I'm like, no, I like played with Barbies. I was very girly girl. They're like, you're telling me you weren't like on the softball team or something? I'm like, no. I got asked last night. I was like, are you gay? And I was like literally wearing like a gown with like jewelry. Didn't need to be.
Really?
And I was like, no. Is it because I am taking up space? Is it because I have a deep voice? I was like kind of offended, not like of like being called like as being a lesbian, but I was just like, you just can't fathom that a woman that is like, oh, she clearly fucks other women.
Yeah. It's like their brain breaks.
Yeah. It's so, oh God. Or I remember, have you ever said the right thing at the right time and you felt like a fucking rock star?
Yes. It doesn't happen often, but when it does.
It's like once in a lifetime sometimes.
Yeah.
This happened years ago and I remember it so vividly because I was like, I almost felt like my matriarchal like ancestors were like speaking through me. I was like out with some friends and this guy who was really handsome was like, whatever, we're in like a circle of people and him and I were like kind of chatting. And then he said super earnestly, like it wasn't as like a put down in any way. He was like, oh, like, do you have like an older brother? And I was like, no, why do you ask? He's like, it's just, you know so much about music and you're so funny. I would assume that you have an older brother. And I said, don't ever think a woman is cool because a man made her that way.
I like that.
I know. And I was just like, it was kind of cool because everybody was like, oh, and I was like, and dropped the mic.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
That is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, just like, oh, like you know about music and you're funny, so you have definitely had like an older brother or
a man must have.
A lot of people ask if my dad was a musician or into music. It's never like literally.
Right.
And I'm like, where is that guy? I don't know. Have you seen him? Tell him I've been trying to get a hold of him for a while.
Do you have siblings?
Nah.
You're only child.
Yeah. It's lonely, dude. It sucks.
It is?
Dude, I'm the only person in my family born in the U.S.
Well, actually, no. Now I have cousins that are a lot younger. But my mom came here from Iran, and then during the revolution, met my dad, who's American. My dad's adopted, and a little estranged from his he's a brother and sister, but they're not related. And then they never had kids, so I was like the only grandchild I was like literally the only grandchild to my grandparents on my dad's side. And then also the only child, and then just no siblings,
That's
nothing.
wild.
Yeah.
No one, but that's crazy.
So then I got to create a little world.
A
for
little
myself.
world. That's how the imagination went off, though.
Yeah, fucking Willy Wonka with a pussy over here.
Do you want to have kids? What are your thoughts on that?
That's funny that you asked, because I literally had a conversation last night with some friends about this. So my biological clock, I'm just going to give you a little context.
Yeah.
My biological clock was like ticking super duper hard the last few years, to a point where it was like superseding my logic.
I'm like that
Okay.
right now.
Yeah. So
I was like, just give me the baby.
Yeah.
I'll worry about how to provide for it later.
I literally was like, I would see a baby and I was like, I want to smell that thing.
I hold your baby.
I'm like, let me just literally touch the nape of its neck
Yeah.
with the back of my fingers.
Yeah.
Stranger at a grocery store.
Yeah.
I was like verified baby sniffer. I was like, my biological clock was ticking super duper hard. I was like, I want a kid at all costs, sort of thing. And the last person I was with really wasn't the right person for me, and I kind of knew that, and from the beginning, and a lot of like telltale signs. But he came from like really good stock, if that makes sense, and like had, good blue blood family, all of these things, like generational wealth, and like if I were to have a child with him, my child would literally their kindergarten through college, private school, paid for. There's already a trust for that.
Yeah.
So it was that
crazy.
thing, yes. And I really loved his family, all of these things. And I go, but I was so unhappy with this person. So I was like, no, it's fine for my progeny. And it's like, I'm not even paying attention to myself. I'm literally looking after some like projected potential future child that doesn't even fucking exist yet.
I did that in a relationship.
Crazy.
And I was like, I need to get the fuck out.
Oh, that's what happened.
Then you're like, wait a minute.
I feel like I was in a cult.
Like,
I literally just like woke up and I was like, I can't be with this person anymore. And then now just retrospectively, I'm like, what happened in my brain? Like I was like, how did I stay in that for so long when I was so unhappy and with so many things? And I was just like, it's fine, just white knuckling it, because I was like, I want a child. And he did too. And that was the thing, was like, he was going to propose to me. And once that got really close, the proposal, I was like, I fucking pulled the ripcord and was like, I gotta go. This isn't working. So then where I'm at now is that I would really like a child. However, I want to be with the right person to have it. I don't want to be a single mom. I was raised by a single mom. It was not the preferred method for her or I. And her and I are both really open about that. It's just like, she's like, I didn't want to be a single mom, but that's what happened. And I'm like, I know I was raised like that and I don't want to do that. So if I meet a guy who is the right guy to like be a father and it works out, fantastic. And if that doesn't happen, completely okay. I really felt free just the last few months being like, I let go of like wanting to even have, like, I can live my whole life, not have a kid, and feel really fulfilled and gratified from my friendships and my like work and my creative life.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to freeze my eggs.
You are?
Yeah, because then I don't have to think about it. But it's like 20 grand.
I know, it's so expensive.
But I'm kind of like, fuck it, dude.
I'm like,
Credit card.
put it on a card.
Is that crazy?
No, it's your children, right?
Yeah, I'm just at an age where I gotta do it.
I have to do it too, probably.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I'm 34.
I'm older than you.
Yeah. I thought you were younger than me.
No, I'm older than you. My eggs are.
No, you gotta get it now, dude.
I know.
You gotta do it now. Or just have the guy you're dating, I don't know, let him shoot up the club.
He has 2 kids.
Whoa. Okay, well, why not just add a third?
You're looking for a third, non-sexual?
Looking for, because 2 is already crazy.
How old are they?
3 and 7.
That's a lot. Yeah, those are like, if they were
They're
older,
so
I'd be like,
cute.
okay,
They're
yeah,
so
of course.
cute.
Can you live vicariously through children that aren't your own? Because I think some women.
I think you can love them as though they are yours. Yeah.
Yes, and like be a mom.
Without having to carry them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because also you can, if you want to freeze your eggs, you can do that. You could also just I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna do it because I'm like, fuck it. And I want to have the option, but I also am okay to never have kids. And that was a freedom that I came to that I go, I am okay. Because now I'm not, there's no ticking time bomb of like, okay, the next guy I date, like, is he gonna be, now I can have fun. I can date people. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
And if he's cool, then great. And if he wants to, also I can meet somebody that's an amazing man, perfect for me. And I want to be with him. He wants to be with me, but he doesn't want kids. And I go, that's fine.
Really?
I don't want to have kids with anybody that doesn't want to have kids.
I was dating a guy for a really long time, and I really, really, really loved him. I wanted to be with him, but he didn't want kids. And I was like,
That's a deal breaker.
I didn't want to be the one that like swipe. Yeah, I didn't want to be convincing somebody a lifestyle that they didn't want.
Especially with a kid, and then that
they have to want to be a dad.
I've actually only been with dudes like that I've been with for years, like guys that have committed to for years. All of them have wanted children because it's like we can agree upon that of like, okay, like you want to have like a kid, right?
Yeah.
At least one. I just want one.
I just want one too.
Just one, dude.
I don't need a lot.
I'm the only child. I'm fine. I'm a little much, but whatever, dude.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You make one of your own, just one.
It would be cool. I feel like that's actually the nice thing about the freezing of the eggs because
you could be like, I'm 47. Let's fucking bust open the freezer.
But dude, yeah, exactly. Fucking crowbar it open.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can even if you don't, let's say, you can sell them to people, and you can also, so you can only not only recoup your money, but it's like you can also like help somebody with like your, you know what I mean? I'm like, you belong out there. Like that's the thing. It's like there's other iterations of Sara that belong out in the world.
I gotta get these eggs on ice.
Get the eggs on ice. It's an investment plan, okay? You get it from the ground level. You put the 20 grand in, but what if they harvest 15 eggs? Each one of those eggs, that's a nest egg, literally. Okay?
Yeah, that is. You're not wrong. Well, then you have to pay rent on the eggs.
Yeah, you do. But it's not, it's a freezer fee, baby. It's not that bad.
It is.
No, it's not that bad. No. I
Okay.
think I think the first 5 years is like paid for. And then it's like after that, I don't think it's crazy. It's like the initial fee is crazy. And then it's like after that, it's like whatever.
Then at what point do you say, let's let these eggs go?
I mean,
you're deep into your 60s. You're still paying rent on the eggs.
Nah.
Well,
No, you gotta buy
them?
You gotta. Okay, well, you know, if you did it now, if you literally did it like if in like a few weeks, okay, which I think you might as well.
Okay.
Fuck it. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm like, you're doing it, right? Okay.
We're getting our eggs frozen together.
And we'll live stream it.
Yep.
I'm gonna have the gyno put a fucking GoPro on his forehead, and I'm like, turn it on, let's go. It's my journey.
It's content.
You can have a child when you're like 40, 42.
Yeah.
Women do it all the time, and especially if it's just like your younger egg, your 37-year-old egg, you can carry it. Also, if you get to a point where you're like, hey, I don't want to carry it, but it is still a Sara baby. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So that, you know what I'm saying, man? It's and then the rest of the eggs, you can just be like, you can literally donate an egg to somebody, or you can sell it. And then you're making, that's the thing. I had this whole conversation. I have a friend who works in IVF.
Yeah.
So I had these conversations with her. But also a few days ago, literally fire under my ass, this woman that I work for, she's like a big events person. She is like in her late 50s, and she's like, look, like, she was just super blunt. She's like, how old are you? I'm like, 34. And she's like, all right. She's like, do you want kids? I'm like, I don't know. I think so. She goes, freeze your eggs. She goes, she's like, I lived in New York for 20 years. When I was 35, I was single. And I go, all right, I'm going to freeze my eggs. She goes, I spent a shit ton of money doing it, but I did it. And I met a guy who's 15 years younger than me. Ended up like, you know, I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, it would have been a deal breaker, because he really wanted kids. And then I did too. And then I got married when I was 40. And then when I was 42, I had our first child. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's so wild.
I know. And she's with a man who's 15 years younger than her. I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Let's
go. She's
fun.
cool as hell. She's hot and cool. So makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So anything can happen is what you're saying.
Anything's possible, you know?
Did you do theater and stuff when you were a kid?
No.
You didn't?
I wish I did.
You're like anti.
No, here's the thing.
Your face was like,
you know what it is that I wish I did, because then I would have like my educational background would be so much more robust with things that I'm actually interested in. I did study art history in college.
I did too. Well, it wasn't my major.
It was my major.
It was your major? It was my favorite
so
class.
Impractical.
It was my favorite class.
It was my major, and I mean, I didn't graduate college. I dropped out.
We went to Italy, and they'd be like, okay, this is another Madonna and Child. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
With lots of Madonnas and child.
Lots of, I love a Bernini. I love this sculptor.
Yeah.
The theater thing, I wish that I did that. And I was very interested in entertainment and I loved comedy. Like in like high school, I was obsessed with like sketch comedy shows. Like I loved like Kids in the Hall. I loved SNL. I loved like Mad TV and like Whitest Kids You Know and Mr. Show and all these hilarious. I loved all that stuff. And I loved stand up. Like I loved all the Comedy Central presents. I was like watching religiously in middle school and high school. And I would totally wanted to do that. I didn't even know if that was a possibility. Then in high school, there was a theater department and everything, but just the kids in there, it's like they're doing like they're like singing Rent songs. It's like the type of kids that like unapologetically wear like Cookie Monster pajamas to school and are just like, and they're like all, they dye their hair blue and they're all making out and stuff together. And like they're like
very cringe.
It's very Renaissance fair to me. It's very like
I can get behind a Renaissance.
I like a Renaissance fair. Give me that big old turkey leg, please. I'll be taking one of those. But it was
there's something about it where it's so extreme.
It's just
the theater kids are like an extreme stereotype. They were like that in my school too.
They feel like they're all poly. Like it has like they have like poly energy. And they just are, I don't like people that feel that free in their body. Like in a weird way. There's like, I guess maybe that's like the restrictive, like the WASP side of like my family of just like, I'm like, okay, like calm down. And they're like, where they're like, ugh, and I'm like, tighten up. I actually wish you were more insecure. When people are not insecure too, I'm like,
they lack self-awareness.
Wake up.
Like I don't want to be crawling on all fours making animal noise.
Oh my
God.
that's
like an activity.
I have done
tongue twisters, red leather, yellow leather, all that stuff.
Zip zap zop, put a gun in my mouth. I'm like zip zap zop. No, but I mean, now I study acting. I'm in an acting studio and I love it. But as an adult, I started acting somewhat young. I was like 18, but I wasn't that good at it. And I would only get cast in things where I was playing myself, you know? And the thing is like, okay, this is the analogy that I give. You know, if you can go bowling and like you will accidentally maybe hit a spare sometimes, but there's like a whole, like you'll just by accident, you'll like, you know, knock a bunch of pins down. You go, oh, hell yeah. But there's like a calculated approach to bowling where you go, actually, well, your legs should line up here, your feet need to be on these dots, and if your arm goes this way, and then you can hit a strike every time. So I was coming into the acting, like whenever I started acting, I would accidentally hit a spare sometimes, but a lot of times it would just be a little lackluster. Like it wasn't that much depth in what I was bringing to anything. And again, I was doing comedy things that like were me just playing myself. There was nothing super expansive about it. When I started studying acting, I was like, oh, there's like a technique and a skill and a craft that you learn and you can apply it to these.
Which technique?
I do Stanislavski, which is like, but I do the derivative that's like the Strasbourg derivative.
Okay.
So there's like Meisner, Adler, and then like Strasbourg. And my teacher's Tony Greco, who's an incredible acting teacher in New York and in Los Angeles.
Cool.
Fucking awesome guy. If you ever want to take classes with him, let me know.
Should.
You really should you do a session.
I've taken acting classes, but I haven't done it in a while.
You should do a session. It's like seriously, like
Gotta see Tony.
It's great. You're gonna love him. He's a fucking maniac. He's an incredible teacher.
Really?
Yeah, incredible. Like he's taught some of the most. Like he was Philip Seymour Hoffman's acting teacher.
I got to get in with
he like
T-Dog.
dude T-Dog is sick as
your
hell.
life.
No, dude, it's so good. And it makes you like love. That's another thing too. It's like if you really like any form of what you're doing creatively, the more you invest time and energy into expanding your knowledge and ability in it, the more rewarding it makes it for you. So, you know,
I
like
just started doing the artist way. Have you ever done that?
I have. I love it.
It's so helpful.
It's great. I love that book.
I'm doing my morning pages in the morning.
Did you go on an artist date yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. That's like one of my, I'm not like a big self-helpy person, but I think what's really cool about that one is that it's like in like the beginning where she's like, oh, the desire to create is like in an innate human quality as natural as like wanting like food and water and shelter. And I love that she says that because I think where the reason why people in this world are miserable is like their failure as creators. And that's why we have like trolls on the internet that like say horrible
They
things.
would have just been doing morning pages.
I think they're sad. I think they're sad because they haven't they are
They
not
have songs
creative
in their hearts that they have to write.
Yeah, dude. So they go, why are you fucking singing, bitch? Why are you
Yeah.
singing? I can't sing.
Yeah.
You know, why are you telling jokes?
Yeah.
People get so mad when women tell jokes.
They really get so mad.
It's crazy. It's like you bombed a small country.
No,
they get
it's
as angry.
So crazy.
I have had like death threats. And I go,
Me too.
dude, I told a dick joke.
was like,
I don't, do you think I'm,
this is such a woman comic thing to do to talk about dicks. And then it's like, men talk about sex all
they
the
talk
time.
about jerking off. Okay? Sorry, I'm talking about having sex like not a fucking loser, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone else is there when I do it.
Yeah.
Fucking loner, school shooter ass. No. Okay. No, they get so mad. They act like you're a politician in their county that can like affect change in their community.
No, yeah,
Like,
that
I
is
need these
exactly-
potholes changed. And you're like, oh my God. I didn't.
Who gave this woman a microphone?
Why do you think I wield this much power? Like, I just.
It's so crazy.
Like, I'll just be over here doing my jokes.
I know. And then if you post something sexy, they're like, well, when's the OnlyFans link coming?
Oh, dude, I just get guys in my DMs going, it literally just says OnlyFans ?
Yeah.
I'm like, not even like a hi.
Just OF.
let me jerk off to your feet.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm like,
so
okay.
crazy.
For sure.
The thing that I didn't see coming in, like, as a society is how, feet obsessed we've gotten in the last.
I think that we've always been feet obsessed.
But now there's just an outlet.
Yes, I think it's like how that my mom says. And should forgive her because she is like foreign, but she'll say something like,
You know, when I was younger, not as many gay people in the world. And now so many people are gay. And I'm like, don't you think maybe because people weren't comfortable coming out? She goes, I don't think so.
No.
And I'm like, all right, dude. I love it. Okay, you're just the expert opinion of the history of the gays. Mitra Haddadi, okay? Let's go.
That's amazing.
No, but she really will be like, there wasn't Tasmania. And I go, I don't think that they were comfortable living in a society that it was like illegal up until kind of recently to be gay. And she's like, no, I don't know. I'm like, all right, dude. So I think the feet thing's the same thing. I think that other people been eating ass and sucking toes for a long ass
Since
time.
the beginning of time.
But some people now, it is in the zeitgeist. And I think sometimes sometimes I'll look up the guy and he'll like put my foot in his mouth and I go, do you even want this? Are you just doing this to be like freaky? I'm open and
But
freaky.
did you like it when he put his foot in your mouth?
Yeah.
I did too. I had a guy put my toe in his mouth and I was like, I didn't even know I liked that.
I was like, why am I horny?
Yeah. I was like,
It was like you might as well. Yeah, it's like an erogenous zone.
I don't understand it.
It's something.
And it's also like, oh wow, you really went there. Like you don't give a fuck. You know, it's primal.
it feels like they want to consume you. And I think as a woman, you want a man to be like, I want to consume you at all costs.
Yeah.
And that's why any guy, oh my God, biggest just illegal to be. If a man is not like trying to eat your pussy to completion,
Get out.
get the fuck out, dude. Lick the plate. Like,
Yeah.
be Oliver Twist up in the pussy. Like,
Yeah,
yes, sir,
Oliver
may I have another?
Please,
I wanted
Dad,
to
can
get-
I have some more?
I wanted Dickensian child eating my pussy. Okay, like you need it.
Yeah.
Okay, you need the sustenance, you need the protein.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't like when a guy's like sheepish about that. So then I think that's why we like the foot in the foot in the mouth.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He did it. I was like, whoa.
And you go, okay.
I was like, I didn't know that I was.
I guess you have a crush on me.
Yeah. I guess you really like me. That's our podcast.
Wow, that was amazing.
It was so much fun. Where can people find you? And do you have anything coming up you want to promote? When does this come out? In 2 weeks.
Amazing. You can follow me on Instagram at pizzaparty69.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I am in Los Angeles and New York quite a bit, so I post about shows. I have like a monthly show in New York at Fierce City with Pure Chaos Comedy. There's a movie I'm doing that's coming out in a few
Cool.
weeks. Oh, a short film that I am starring in and produced is also coming out. It's called Pocket Man. It's a horror comedy. Just follow me and that's easier. I don't know.
Follow Pizza Party 69, guys. And we'll see you next week. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Shank and watching. You can find me here every Wednesday on Shank, every Monday on This Bitch, and then patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk for bonus content. And I'm going to be at Skankfest, and then Kim Congdon and I are coming to Comedy Loft in DC in November, so get tickets for that. And then at Princess Shank for all my dates. Thank you. Bye.